Clear the course!
This is the Clear the Course podcast.
Clear the course!
Your podcast for everything in amateur skateboarding, brought to you by the crew at California Amateur Skateboard League, aka CASL, and hopefully soon the Florida Amateur Skateboard League, aka FASL. Here we are again. Welcome back to Clear the Course.
Clear the course!
Clear the Course. I'm Rob. It's my brother Daryl.
What it do?
Engineer Dre in the house.
Hey.
Yeah. What's up? We're back. Welcome back to another Clear the Course. This is episode 3. We have a special guest I want to introduce here in a minute, but first we'll go over some CASL news, which is there isn't much news. We're sitting in the middle of June right now. It's June 19th as we're recording this. We were supposed to be having a contest tomorrow. It was going to be in Fontana. Obviously, if you guys check the website, castleusf.com, that was canceled. Unfortunately, we were not able to make a contest happen in June. We on the schedule right now, we have Vans at the Block of Orange for July. But I've already talked with Vans, and it doesn't sound like we're going to be able to do the Vans contest.
Probably not going to happen.
I don't think they've opened that yet. And then, and even when they do, they're going to be slow to have events. But I'm trying to shake the trees a little bit and see if we can organize a contest somewhere else.
All right.
So we'll see what's up. Keep your eye on the Instagram. Keep your eye on the website. And we'll have that, as soon as we have that information, we'll put it up there. And we'll shout it out to everybody. Florida still on standby as well. Talked to Rodney Mead just the other day. Not much has happened in Florida. It's really hard to get anything on the books right now in Florida because they don't know kind of where things stand either. So, unfortunately, we have not been able to schedule anything for you guys out in Florida yet. But it's coming eventually. Promise you that.
Hold tight.
Feel kind of like a broken record, but that's all right.
They're still skating.
Yeah. How you doing, Daryl?
I'm doing good.
Yeah? What's new?
Not a whole lot. Just a little bit of skateboarding.
Yeah?
Trimming medical MJ like a madman. Trying to keep up with the demand. Some, essential work.
Essential employees, yep. Trey, anything new?
The comedy show's coming back.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm excited. Nervous and excited, but I'm hoping that we have a good show and everybody's safe.
Let everybody know where they can find that online.
SuperAudioNetwork.com. You can buy your tickets. We're going to have dope sponsors in the place to be. With every ticket, you get a drink, you get a taco plate, you get beer and some other things. It doesn't matter. But the point is that we have dope stand-up
Adults
comedians.
only.
Yeah. Adults only, absolutely.
Yeah, adults only. It's an adult event, but it'll be fun. And if not, I think you can stream it online too.
If you can watch it online if you can't attend. And
so Super Audio Network, check it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, that concludes the CASL news. I wish we had more to tell you. I wish we could be talking about,
How's Sonia doing?
Sonia's doing well. She's chilling, as usual.
Okay.
Not a lot of movement over at Sonia's spot.
She's still on lockdown?
I think they're still kind of on lockdown. Yeah, they're still social distancing, quarantine mode altogether.
Yeah.
They're the high-risk category, right?
Yeah.
So, it'll probably be longer for her before she comes out of quarantine or what have you, whatever you want to call it. She's not quarantined because she tested positive for COVID or anything like that. She's just in the high-risk category, so they're keeping her away from everything. Understandably so.
Right. She still doesn't know what's going on anyway.
Probably not. She doesn't watch the news. She's just watching Hulu.
For sure.
Watching her shows. So, we love you, Sonia.
Yep.
All right. So, with that, then I want to bring up a world-famous ambassador to skateboarding and CASL alum. You may know who he is, and if you don't, you should. Dave Duncan in the house. What up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How are you?
What
Good
up?
to see Daryl, Rob. Good to see everybody. Dre, thanks for having us here.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for coming, Dave.
Yeah, stoked to be here.
So, episode number 3. So, Dave goes way back in CASL. So, give us an idea of when you started and how you started.
Wow, well, I'll tell you, right now it's 2020. I'm just turned 58 a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Happy
Still
birthday.
skating. Yeah, I just
Congratulations.
skated a couple days ago at the Harbor City Park. My buddy got some grinds in.
Nice.
So it's nice to still be carving and grinding at my age. And I'm fully healthy. I've been trying to eat healthy and be healthy lately, getting ready for the comeback when all the parks open again.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, I started, my first CASL was 83. I entered.
Okay.
I was sponsored in the '70s, and then skating kind of died. And as it came back in the '80s, I did it just to get free boards. I was a local Del Mar skate park.
Yeah.
And all the pros, Tony Hawk, and all the top guys, Lance Mountain, Neil Blend, everybody was there.
Yes.
Caballero, Hosoi. So I became friends with them all. And then they're like, "Hey, if you skate the amateur stuff, you get free boards." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool." So. I got some free boards from Uncle Wiggly back in the day. They were the best boards, man. They were like
Wiggly
epoxy boards, like super good boards.
They're Argyle.
And then Asoy had the Fish in the like '84, and I loved it because I had big feet, and I would ride his board. I'm like, man. So I bought one at Del Mar for $40. Even though I got free boards, I thought it'd be weird to have Uncle Wiggly make me a fish shape.
Yeah.
So I bought one, and then I was, interesting enough, I was doing a CASL freestyle contest in Venice.
Okay.
I used to do freestyle. I used to have a real Rocco freestyle board. In the
Nice.
70s, I entered freestyle contests doing handstands and little old school kick flips and nose wheelies, all that stuff. And I had a whole routine worked out to try and be overall. Back then, you had to skate like the bank slalom, the full pipe at Upland, all the different things,
Right.
cross country, whatever.
Cross country.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I ran into the Alva crew, TA, and the guy who owned it up in Venice, and they saw it Alva board. Like, "Oh, how do you like it?" I go, "Good, but I need more." I break them while they were kind of cheap back then. But they're like, "Oh, cool." Just and then once I got to know them, they saw my. I entered a lot of contests. Like, "Oh, okay, we'll give you free boards, and then if you got any friends, give them to you for $20." I had a whole ton of friends. $20. I'll work for. I had a whole B team which started, and I ended up eventually being the team manager for
Nice.
Alva because I was traveling so much and doing so many events. So.
So
Good times.
83, how old were you in 83?
I was born in 62, 72, 82, 21 years old.
21 years old when you started in CASL, yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting, because not necessarily like the...
I was a Man-Am.
Yeah, we're a Man-Am.
But there was I started in the 16 over division, which I felt old being 21, like 16 over riding against those kids. But I did it for fun, Back then in the 80s, anyone who had a ramp, you would drive for hours for a ramp or a backyard pool anywhere. Like, "Oh, let's go get in the, every weekend." So I had a regular job. I was a carpenter. I was a carpenter since I was in high school.
Okay.
And I was making good money, so I just saved my money and go on little trips, and every weekend, skating pools during the week in our neighborhood, and then skating the parks on the weekend. But the only parks that were left in the 80s was at 83 was Del Mar and Upland.
Yeah.
So in the 70s, I rode all the parks all over.
How old were you when you started skating?
Oh man, I was 7 years old. In '69, we had a steel wheeled skateboard in the garage, like the hula hoop, the yo-yo. It was just a toy. Oh, let's see how much you can cruise on this. And I was kind of a clumsy kid. I always do weird stuff around the house. And as I got the skateboard, I felt like, I can look what I can do better than anyone in my family. I can ride this skateboard, and do pretty good. So
What were you doing?
eventually, on steel wheels, just cruising on the sidewalk. But once we got clay wheels, we skated to school every day, and make our own boards and buy Black Knights and take the truck and wheels off and make our own stuff. And eventually, once your thing came out, that was like 74, 75. I was 12, 13, and it was on. I just skating everywhere, skating the beach, skating the boardwalk, find pools, just like the Dogtown movie. Really, I grew up in San Diego.
Okay.
But it was just anyone saw Dogtown, we were just looking for pools, and then all of a sudden the parks started opening up. Carlsbad was the first park I rode in '76. It was one of the first parks in the world. And then every few months there'll be a new park opening up in San Diego.
Okay.
And it was a dream, man. Are you kidding me? These brand new parks, I remember going to Upland the first time in 77. Up was before the combi pool was there, but just, dude, 20-foot full pipe, 15-foot boy, like, wow,
Yeah.
Upland was the best park in the world when it opened in May of '77. I remember that.
So you were skating some contests. Now, obviously, CASL wasn't around because it started in 81, but you were skating some contests in the 70s.
Yeah, I used sponsored by this company called Pro-Am. Jim Gray was, I remember, we didn't really know each other then, but he also got sponsored, I guess. But they had a thing in Spring Valley, one of my home parks, where they had the first Hester Series, a pool contest that Steve Albin won.
Okay.
And anyways, they had like team tryouts, and I was a pretty good, pool ripper. It's like, so they put me on a team, and then every Wednesday we skate Skatopia, which is up near Buena Park, I guess.
Yep.
And it was like you go to the factory and get all kind of free gear, and then go skate. It was kind of cool, and then you skate local contests and stuff. So it was fun. But then skateboarding died out. And then it was all about backyard ramps and pools. And luckily, I was a carpenter. I learned to be a carpenter. Just because I thought it was a cool job, man. Just in your T-shirt and shorts out there, you're listening to music and just building stuff. And there was a lot of construction going on in the late '70s, so we had a lot of sites. And because of that, I'd built a lot of ramps for my friends in the backyards. And then eventually, once I did CASL, I met Sonya and all that. They put me on tour with NSA, which was Frank Hawk, Hawk's dad. And I started building ramps and street courses all through the 80s, late 80s
Nice.
for that. So it's amazing that. NSA turned to World Cup eventually, and we started doing stuff in Germany, and I was building these events for World Championships, brand new street arena, like what is Street League now, back in like 1990, 91, we were doing in 91 we did a thing in Barcelona. The Olympics were coming in 92, but in 91 we got to use one of their big arenas. Danny Way won that contest, I remember that. Big years in Europe in the early 90s, and I got to build all the ramps for it. It was cool. They'd fly me over there a month or two before, and I'd prefab everything, and then go in the arena. It's pretty wild how it all happened, you know.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So 83 you start. I noticed you brought some trophies in to show off for. So 83 was your first year, huh?
Yeah. Entered a few there, and it's like they come to a park at Del Mar, and they did Upland, and I started looking at the results of the guys who were sponsored, and it was guys like Grosso and Stedham and Eric Nash, and these guys eventually would turn pro.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if I can just be in the sponsored and you get the overall, you're up in the top, you know, you get noticed, and eventually it was such a dream because I never thought I'd be pro skating, just skating for fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually I turned pro in 87. Knock on whatever we're knocking on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it changed my whole life.
So what trophies did you bring to show off? Actually, I noticed, Daryl, there is a trophy that says cross country.
Yeah, that's this one here, cross country. Our first place was at 85, so we got 84.
What? Tell us about cross country.
84 was here.
Yeah.
We got I always try to get the top of the series, so this was unsponsored 84. Then we had 85, and then 86. Every year I tried to be in the top
Series winner.
top 3 of the series, whatever. So anyways, yeah, cross country.
So,
we used to do like at Del Mar, they would put cones all over, and you just skate all over the whole park, or Upland, you go through the bank.
Was it a race?
Yeah, it's a race.
It's a race.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I don't know if you guys saw Scheckler's thing. We did the Goofy regular, but he does every year that Scheckler thing, and they have a cross country that goes to the Etnies Park.
Okay.
Where I raced against Scheckler on one of them. It's fun. You just kind of carve around all through the.
So is it time trial, or do they go 2 on 2, one on
I
one?
think back then we did one at a time.
Okay.
And they just have a guy with a stopwatch, and then the radio, and the next guy, whatever. It was kind of ghetto, but whatever.
Made it work?
Yeah, no. It was because racing slalom was a big thing in the 70s, and they were trying to make it more fun with bank slalom or cross country, so.
Interesting.
I like it.
Yeah, some roots. So
bring
it was fun.
Bring some races back in.
Seriously, I thought it was like actual cross country, like some long distance.
No.
Like, you're on the road.
It was in the park.
Pushing down the highway. He's catching up.
We got to form like a border cross. We'll put like 4 guys on a racetrack against each other.
They do that at that San Diego thing.
The
they
pump
have
track.
Guys, the pump track. They have a couple guys at a time going. It's kind of like that. You're on the track for a little while.
That's
gnarly. Cool.
I remember the full pipe ones too. They'd have the full pipe and bowl was one of the events at Upland where you'd ride the full pipe and the bowl, and you kind of had to be all around to do.
Yeah, so you competed in all the different little categories. In fact, you just mentioned you did even freestyle.
We did slalom. I did freestyle. Yeah, exactly. And then just because you get overall points, the more you did, and it just looked good at the overall. You're like, oh. Yeah. Even Grosso used to do freestyle. Everybody
did a little bit of freestyle.
If you're trying to, it was because it was the roots of it. They were trying to keep that going. And I'll tell you this: we would see Rodney Mullen when they did the pro contest at Del Mar.
Yeah.
And we really didn't pay attention to Per Willand or Don Brown, the other guys, but they'd be like, next up, Rodney Mullen. Everyone in the parking lot would just rush to the fence and see what Rodney was unleashing. 360 flips.
What new trick he brought this time.
Background ollie grabs and all this crazy stuff. Yeah. And he was just so perfect. I mean, I still, I don't know if you've seen all of his, what they call it, TED TV or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
TED Talks.
All that he's done. Dude, go. I love Rodney, the way he speaks about skateboarding and just how when skateboarding you fall down and it teaches you to get back up. You want to try, and when you make that trick, how it feels so good, and you're progressing, and it just goes on in life. Life is gonna knock you down. Like right now, we're in tough times. And just buckle down and know there's a future, and things change. Nothing's permanent.
Yeah.
Things change, times change, people change. So.
Is that my alarm?
Oh, well. Going off. Oh, is that me? Oh, that's me. Sorry. Yeah, there you go.
Little alarm.
Anyways,
reminder that you have to do the podcast.
Good times. Yeah, exactly.
Freestyle. Yeah. I don't know how they could do tricks on those freestyle boards.
I learned in the 70s.
I had a freestyle board. It's like a flat rectangle.
Well, it's kind of like what they call popsicle sticks now. For a big guy like me, that's a tiny board. It
Yeah.
goes easy. Do shove-its and
Yeah,
little
I
nose wheelies.
suppose.
and
But they
it's
were
easy to
even
control.
smaller.
And lightweight, though. The thing was they were lightweight,
Yeah.
so you could do all the flippy things and all that. Which reminds me, I just saw something with Tony Hawk recently. He learned the finger flip from Rodney. Rodney did it on a freestyle board.
Okay.
Tony saw that and goes, I could do that on vert. So I remember at Del Mar, he was the first one to flip his board doing a finger flip thing.
In
At
out
Del
of vert.
Mar, you see, it's on one of the PAL videos where
Yeah.
he does in slow mo. But another one too, Danny Way at there was a summer camp. I forgot the name in Central California. It's still going. Big with Bobby Goodsby, whatever it's called up there. Summer camp. But Danny Way learned kickflip indies over the hip of a pyramid hip, and then because he learned them there, he finally did them on vert. And people are like, yeah, Danny, that's rad, but it took you 50 tries. So then, you're never gonna do that in a contest. Well, come to find out, guys start doing them in contests.
Yeah.
And a few years later, I remember Toss Papas beat Tony Hawk in the 90s because he did 5 flip tricks in one run. Nollie heel flips and, whatever, all these different
on vert.
variety of kickflip varials. And it's crazy to see the progression.
Sure.
And I've seen so much of it being in skateboard. Luckily, I got to be the announcer X Games. I did 20 years X Games,
Right.
seeing all that travel in the world. It's been a great year, but I kind of want to get into that if you guys got a minute, because I know you do. The guys do a lot of announcing.
Yeah, actually, I wanted you to bring that up because you were mentioning that to me, and it's a
Yeah.
cool story. So,
Well,
enlighten us how you got into
it. Started at Upland because at Del Mar, I was just a guy doing my thing, a local guy. I lived like a mile from Del Mar. They closed all the parks in San Diego. So I'm like, man, I got to move by Del Mar to surf, first of all. It's killer. And then skate, because Del Mar's going to be closed in a couple years. So I got to
Right.
skate the heck out of that place. And that's when I started meeting everybody and just, because I was like, man, how much, we got to skate, because every park closed. There was no more parks.
Right.
Del Mar and Upland, the only ones in California. Before that, there was hundreds of parks across country. Anyways,
Crazy.
so with Upland, we'd have to drive out with gas, stay at people's house, whatever. So Sonia said, hey, if you want to judge the beginner, intermediate, advanced, 1A, 2A, 3A, whatever, then it give you $50 and, then you could have some gas money, beer money, whatever, food money. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So as I'm
Right.
judging a couple
Yes.
events, I heard Bo Brown announcing, and I skated every day the night before the sessions with all the guys, so I knew their tricks. I knew what all the inside stories. Bo didn't know much. He would just show up and try. And he was more of a slalom type guy, bank slalom guy, I guess. So I'm like, hey, I think I could do good at that if you want. I'd love to help. He goes, please. Yeah, he was just volunteering where with Sonia trying to help the kids.
Right.
Which was good for him. He had a board with Madrid back in the day. Madrid always helped out. Big shout out to Jerry. And anyways, yeah, so Bo's like, yeah, so I started announcing some CASL stuff, and then Sonia is like, hey, we got these NSA, we need you to build the ramps, and you're there, you might as well judge and announce too. So
Yeah.
Put you to work.
it turned, and then for
Funny how
flying,
that
they're like,
works.
oh,
Right.
we got a
Still.
hotel for you, an airfare, you come back with a check. The pro ones actually made pretty good money. So
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
So you got your start as announcing, which
In
is
the
something
early
you've
80s,
parlayed
yeah.
into a career, basically.
By chance,
By
like,
chance,
just by
from a
chance.
CASL contest.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I do
So-
remember though when
Goals.
I was in elementary school, like first and second
Look at
grade,
that.
first second all through elementary, I would get like good grades in school. I was pretty, I was okay with school, but they were always having Dave disrupts the classroom. I always get like bad grades, C's or D's in like whatever citizenship or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Talks
I
too
just,
much.
yeah, exactly. Talks too much.
Yes,
and I'm just
that's me.
trying to
Me
make,
too.
trying to make school fun.
Yeah,
like you
Yeah,
see,
exactly.
see a chance to crack a joke, get the kids laughing, and that. So it's.
Yep.
I realize now, okay, this guy talks a lot, so whatever. And with skateboarding, man, to see all the progression of tricks, I knew every trick, all the switch stance, flip tricks, just to see all that and know the guys and know who invented
Yeah.
what, and it's been good to
Perfect
been
guy to
good
be
to
the
me,
announcer, to be the MC.
I didn't know I'd be doing it this late in life. I think, it's a sport for kids, but I don't think you see like Kasoy and Cab and Lance in their 50s killing it. Chris
Yeah.
Miller,
Yeah.
dude, skating. None of us thought we'd be, like, oh, we got to hurry up and skate when you're 20 before you get a wife and kids and a job, like,
Right.
Yeah.
the real thing.
Yeah,
So,
now all these guys, they're still skating. There's like a
Yeah.
resurgence there, too. I
Yeah.
love it. I love watching it. So that's, yeah. So you've been an announcer for some of the largest contests.
world
in the world.
championships all over. I've done Japan, I've done Brazil, done everywhere in Europe, Canada. We used to do the Slam City Jams every year. That was a fun time.
Yeah.
I know, all kinds. So World Cup's kind of on hold too. Now, speaking of, big thanks to Don Danielle, they kind of, they handed them the World Cup thing back in the early '90s, and it was NSA still. But once we started doing stuff over the world, they changed it to World Cup, and it's been a blessing to work with them,
Yeah.
So I always show up on time. I always build the ramp, make sure it's done. So Tony Hawk gets there, he's ready, whatever.
Yeah. Well, what's kind of cool about your story too is, I mean, obviously you started by doing contests with CASL and whatever, but like it just shows you that there's more to skateboarding and careers in skateboarding than just becoming a pro skateboarder, right?
On that note, when I first got involved with CASL in the early 80s, there was only 17 pros in the world.
Right.
Les Kasai, Neil Blender, Lance. I mean, you could name them all. And there was nobody going to touch those guys,
Right.
Jeff Phillips, whatever, Craig Johnson, Gibson. I mean, then as guys, Grosso and Nash and Schroeder and these guys started getting in there, it's like, wow, by the time after Fierce late 80s, there's like maybe 80 pros. Luckily, I was enough to get one of those slots. But, at the time, you didn't think, I mean, nobody ever, you're still Hawk and Asoy dominated all at that time. So everyone else was just whatever. But, I mean, the whole world blew up. And then that's where I got a job as a team manager for Alva. Made like $1,000 a month or whatever. And I got a lot of trips. Got to go do demos. Get $100 a day to fly around the world, do demos. And then there's now a lot of video guys, photo guys.
Yep.
There's a lot of ways that you can get involved to
there's
or
there's
your shop,
countless
your
industry
local shop. A
jobs.
lot of people, how do you get in and start your local shop?
Right.
Do some local shop contests just to get experience judging and outs and whatever. Just be involved in your community, which I always did. Down in San Diego. So
yeah, I think for me, one of the things that I loved doing, and it just came second nature when we were, in high school, it's like grab a video camera. So we were immediately like, we loved video cameras. We started doing skate videos and stuff like that. But that's how you got, that's your segue into skateboarding too. Grab a video camera, start videoing your friends, Now with Instagram and everything, just figure it out, learn how to do social media, and you can be like, next thing you know, you'll be a social media manager for one of these or whatever.
It's crazy now because I see parents with their kids, and there's amazing kids, 5, 6, 7 years old, and like, oh, they're gonna be new Tony Hawk, whatever, and it's rad, and parents got to be cool about pushing too much on your kid at a young age, but the kids don't know, they're having fun,
right?
And that's one thing I want to say. The whole time through my career, it's always been about the fun.
Right.
I mean, you got to have a job.
Amen.
Building ramps in the hot sun was hot, but then once you're done and the big show goes on, it's kind of something that's rewarding.
Sure.
Totally. So, you got to do something you're passionate about.
Right.
And you find a job you're passionate about, they say you'll never work another day in your life.
Right.
I would have done literally everything I did for free just to be there and be on the scene and see the skate action and hang with the guys. And, luckily it's a profession, so I get paid. But, I love doing it. So, it's been a blessing.
And that brings up kind of one of the things that Daryl and I stress about all the time at CASL is like, this is a place more so, I mean, it is a competition, but essentially it's a place to have fun and meet new kids that skate and to like be a part of the tribe.
Yes, that part.
Yeah, it's all about, I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to get a couple minutes in as like in competition, but you're going to spend the whole day skating around with all your friends all day long in between every contest,
That's one of the things I've always been frustrated with skating, because there's only one guy. Like there's 20, 30, 40 good guys at this event, and they all rip. Everybody's got their own side, everybody's got their own tricks, and one guy might fall or this or that, and you're like, oh, and I've always, but like you said, to me, contests has always been about getting together, having fun. Back when we did it, only top 3 guys are going to get paid. Everyone else say, hey, you're there for fun.
Right.
So you might as well just enjoy yourself while you're there. It's a little different now because the Olympics and all that. Congratulations to all the Olympic team out there. Hopefully you guys will get to do it in Tokyo next year,
2021.
Yeah, 2020 team.
I did a trip to Tokyo in February with Black Flag. I'm like, I'm going to go to Tokyo and kind of feel the vibe out there. And I was excited. That was February. And then the COVID thing was already happening there.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It was pretty heavy. Whatever, yeah. And on that note, I got to say, one of my little claims of fame is I beat Mark Gonzalez in the street contest. But he was my friend. He rode for Alva for a while. I used to drive around.
That's right, yeah.
But in NSA, he ollied a friggin' tire, dude. A big old truck tire. Came out of the corner, first trick, ollied this tire. Nobody back then could ollie a tire. I could ollie up a curve, but not the distance and that, And he fell a bunch of stuff. He never really did good in contests. He fall, but you watch his run. He had such amazing style. I love the Gons. But I went out there and did my 50-50 in the horseshoe and boneless off the picnic bench, and I had like a perfect run.
You had your run figured out.
Yeah, I was a little older. I kind of just do a good run, and you have your conservative one, then you try some harder stuff on the next one. But whatever. But it's just weird. Like Gons. I mean, juice. What a.
Well, you could say you beat him once.
He could ride vert too, man. The guy does the raddest eggplants and crazy stuff on vert. All these stuff and he's still skating. So big up to the Gons. I remember he was skating that CASL contest where I met Tony Tony Alva and all that. And that's another thing. Seeing Tony Alva and Jay Adams in the magazines as a kid, the real Dogtown dudes, and then actually skate pools with them and hang out and travel the world. I'm like, wow, what an amazing thing, you know.
Stick around this long enough, you'll meet
See,
everybody.
Danny Way was 10 when I first met him. He was doing little kickflip varials out of the freestyle reservoir at Del Mar, and you know, we're like, what's he doing over there? Just trying these little things, but eventually it would take him to Vert and mega ramps. Speaking of mega ramp, Bob Burnquist, dude, look at that guy's Dreamlands parts flying around in helicopters and things.
It's
like
crazy.
You know, and he does that base jump thing where he goes off the rail into the canyon. Like, it's crazy to see these guys take skateboarding to such
crazy levels like that.
I'm a surfer. I see guys get towed in these 60-foot waves. Like, wow, like our life. You know, motorcycle dudes doing double backflips, BMX doing quadruple backflips. Like, things you never thought you'd see in your lifetime.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Yeah, there's guys doing backflips on snowmobiles and stuff now, because the X Games kind of brought a lot of that stuff to the forefront, and then people started getting crazier and crazier every year in every discipline.
That's a good thing that you're talking about that, because I love the best trick thing, even with skateboarding. Yeah, we used to have a skateboard event, and at the end, we're like, the judges are tabulating, they're getting the checks ready, and then so how do you entertain the crowd? Oh, best trick. Yeah. So Muska would be out there on the handrail or whoever, and they'd entertain the crowd, and this is where guys, the real true progression of skating would go on. Guys might not have made the top 10 to get money, but they're like, I got a trick, and they get like,
I got a banger that I can throw down.
Yeah, we do
everybody.
cash for tricks now at every event I do.
Yes.
Give me a wad of cash, you land a trick, bang, bang, bang. Everybody gets some, and then, you know, you go home, you get some meal money, whatever.
Nice.
And it's a fun way to see the progression. So it's not just about the contest so much. The best trick sessions are always a fun one.
Right. So take it back. How many of those are unsponsored, and then did you skate CASL sponsored as well?
I did it first year, and then I got sponsored right away. But Tony Mag's like, Duncan, how much longer are you going to take these trophies away from the kids? So he's like, here's some boards. So then, you know, 84, 85, 86, I got sponsored. And
do you remember who you were skating against in any of those?
Yeah, Grosso, Stedham, Kevin Staub, Adrian Domain, a lot of pretty big. I wish I have stuff in my house. I should have dug it up before, but I have everybody's name on some of that. I'll try and dig them up and send you photos of them.
Yeah, send us some photos. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys that went on to be pros, you know. Yeah. Crazy, yeah, good times though, really fun times.
Did you ever skate against Rodney in a freestyle contest?
No, Rodney was pro by that time. Yeah, he was super pro. Yeah. So he was one of those 17 guys on my fingers, you know.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, like that old World ad, the house that Rodney built that lists all the tricks that he invented.
Insane.
Yeah, it's just insane. Like every trick. Every trick you kids are doing, just so you know.
He learned it on a 2x4.
Yeah, and he learned it exactly.
And it's like when you read Tony Hawk's book or see on him, he invented so many tricks.
I know.
You know, 720s, 900s, and all this crazy stuff that I don't think a lot of kids are gonna ever do that. It's just not, you know. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy to see what stuff's going on.
It is. You know? It is crazy. You know, and what's interesting too, I mean, is just we're at a level now where it's like technical meets big. So guys were doing big handrails in the 90s and guys were doing tech in the 90s. Now you're watching guys do tech on big handrails.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy,
And switch.
Yeah.
Tech
I just saw
exactly.
Chase Webb won that real street thing. And he's been a CASL guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was so ridiculous. Yeah.
So big shout to Chase Webb, man.
Yeah,
that was rad.
Yeah, it was
good
rad.
to see young kids like that come up to the thing and having fun. And you know, so you never know where you're going to go with it. Have some fun, and if you stay with it and you're passionate about it, you know, good things will come for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, you can get a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can come judge if you want. Let us know.
Dude, please DM us.
Yeah, DM us.
We're looking for judges.
Judges,
right. Always.
porters, people to carry
Porters.
stuff, whatever however you want to help out.
Yes.
Speaking of helping out, I got to give a quick shout to like Sonia and Jerry from the garage. Like just you guys, man, right on for keeping this thing going. You know, it's good for the kids, and it's really it's just it fills your heart full of joy, full of soul. You know, fills your soul.
It's just like you. It's what we love. It's what we know.
Yeah.
So
it's not work.
Cheers to that.
I mean, it's it's definitely not work at all. It's just I mean, you could call it work, but it's fun. I mean, I love Saturdays when we get to go out and like do a contest. And they're long days. Like I was telling you, the first couple contests we had this year in January and February, I mean, they were like 10, 12-hour days.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where some even parents are like, dude, when's this going to be over? We didn't
when's the awards
We did
ceremony?
not
Yeah.
plan on being here till 8:00 at night, Rob. And it's like, I know, I'm sorry, but you know, every kid gets a chance to skate, and we're just trying to get this done as quickly as possible. And that's where, you know, we have the inner workings of Daryl and I going, okay, we've got to warm up can only be 5 minutes this time. I don't know what else we do.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we
yeah.
got to police the course, and we got to get them going immediately.
Yes.
Because when you get, you know, that many kids, I mean, we used to do 2-day contests. We used to have bowl and mini on Saturday and street on Sunday, you know, stuff like that. And
those are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a whole weekend too, and if you're a kid that skates all terrain, you know, now your parents are basically that's their whole weekend is, you know. So we'll just try and figure it out as best as we can, but ultimately I just want to have that there for them to get out there and skate.
I totally appreciate the parents though that are so thankful.
Yeah, for sure.
They're there thugging it out with us, but they're like, we don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
You're still talking.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you, I did Slam City Jam Con, so we'd have 150 guys, and they'd each have 2 runs. That's 300 runs. It'd take, 6, 7, 8 hours.
Yep.
And guys would come up, go, hey, I want to announce. Let me announce with you. And they would last a half hour.
Right.
Yep.
And they'd be like, dude, how do you do this? I'm like, hey, whoever, please, I'm an old dude. Please take the mic. I feel like any skater could be an announcer. You know the tricks. You know the guys.
For sure.
It takes a little bit of personality. But
That part.
But
That
to
part's big,
do it all day, big ups to you guys, like I say, because then it
To
turns
you
into a
too.
job. You just keep plugging away. But
Yeah, you just keep doing it over and over, it becomes it's just a day of announcing and running raffles and giving out awards and then starting it all over again, and announcing and judging and raffle and awards and just, one after the other until you get through the day. But it's fun. Super fun. And what's crazy, you talk about the progression, man. And this year's a little weird because obviously we've been shut down, but watching a kid from January to December,
you see it.
you watch these kids
learn stuff,
they learn stuff. I mean, their skating is completely different in December than it was in January. I marvel at some of these kids because they're young. I mean, young kids pick stuff up quick, and they're
it's a young
skating every
person's
day.
sport, yeah.
They're skating every single day, and you watch their runs. They'll come in January and have some skills, but man, by November, December, when we go to Woodward, some of those kids, it's just like, dude, you learned a lot of tricks this year.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Before you turn 16, and you skate every day, that's before you get a car, before you get a job and all that, that's the key.
Before you
when
get a
kids
job.
really progress. Yeah, for sure. And I got to say, I was lucky enough because we did the CASL, and then that fed into the NSA. We did a nationwide series where you had a North and a South, West Coast,
right.
and
So
Midwest.
we haven't talked about NSA yet on the show. Break it
okay.
down for us. Tell us what NSA was all about.
NSA started at the same time CASL started, but it was for the pros, and at
Right.
the time there was only less than 20 pros. But Tony Hawk's dad, Frank Hawk, said we need to have a way to promote this. With Fausto, who did Thrasher at the time, Skateboarder magazine was going. Once Skateboarder was done because the industry fell apart, then he's like, I got Thrasher, I got indie trucks, I need to be able to promote my trucks, and let's find some heroes like Cabin of Soy and make them kind of media stars, and Hawk, of course, and then take this on around the country, and a lot of amateurs turning pro. So through the 80s, the NSA really grew, National Skateboard Association, but toward the mid-'80s, late 80s, we actually had a North and South and the West. We had in the middle, I met Jeff Kendall in Indianapolis where it's his hometown, and then Texas guys, Todd Prince and Troy Chasen and Philly and those guys were amateur dudes. And then you go to the East Coast, Florida, Buck Smith and those kind of dudes, and then up in the North, the North was Jim Murphy and whoever. Up North, Sean Sheffy. Those. So everyone would compete on a local, and then you make your Western finals, Eastern finals, and Central. And Eric Costin was a big guy, I remember, in the late 80s, early 90s. Guy Mariano, a lot of dudes came through this.
Yeah.
But it was the national championships. We did them in Arizona for a while, too. The national championship, 89, I think, 90. Man, we had an award ceremony at a Sizzler. Imagine having probably 200 kids in the Sizzler, just
skaters,
just freaking out. It turned into a food fight. They had salad bars. Everyone's throwing cherry tomatoes. Eventually, somebody threw a glass through the plate glass window, broke the window. Cops came.
Yep.
I mean, Sonia was there. Oh, these kids are good kids. They're really
down.
nice. So anyway, some wild time. I just food fight every time I see like Animal House or something.
Yeah.
Food fight, toga.
Yeah.
Reminds you of like just being a kid. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So don't do that at home or don't do that at your
Just
local
don't throw.
wars.
You can throw a cherry tomato. Just don't throw glass.
Yeah.
Anyways, kids, they're teenagers. They're wild and
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah. So you were going
Used to
around
love
with Sonia doing
Yeah.
NSA stuff?
Yeah. It was a blessing. The
And
NSA
then-
Amateur, NSA Pro. We had a
Yep.
busy schedule.
Yep.
Busy schedule.
And then that led into World Cup?
Yeah, NSA. Eventually, we started going to Germany, and they're like, can't call it national because the U.S. because
Right.
Germany had it's kind of connecting everyone together. So, but we're talking about this because hopefully one day CASL can do the Florida series and the Texas series,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we're trying to get this all to grow.
Yeah,
to where
exactly.
you have a national champion.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens to that. I know World Cup. We've tried to do some amateur stuff too. That just then eventually Dan Am came along with Schaefer. He was working with us, and we had
Right.
the idea. And he kind of ran with the Damas. We're like, all right, you handle the amateur stuff. We'll just keep doing the pro thing. XGames do. So we had a really busy schedule when the Dam Am first started. So
Yeah.
it worked out. But yeah, I know a lot of the Castle kids probably do the Dam Am series when it comes out. Which
Yeah,
helps.
I mean, I think Dam
And a lot
Am
of them
is
go to
like
Tampa Am too, which is
sure.
a couple hundred
so,
kids, so.
a lot of kids. The formula for a long time had been like Castle as they're younger or just kind of coming up, and then they kind of graduate and leave Castle and enter into Dam Am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
More of
That's
a
like a little
nationwide
bit.
thing, yeah,
that's
yeah.
And a higher level of skating,
yeah.
a little bit higher level
And
of
then
skating.
Tampa
You
Am's
know
like
what I
a
mean?
big final
And then
for
Tampa
all of
Am
it,
is
yeah.
like Tampa Am
Big
is
one.
the
Yeah,
amateur
and
contest.
Tampa Pro,
has
too,
been
yeah,
forever.
yeah.
Tampa Am is where you go to like.
Really, yeah.
Get it done
Right,
as an
right,
amateur
right.
skateboarder and progress farther than as far as like competitive skateboarding.
Yeah,
goes.
that's like advanced skills contest.
Exactly.
We're entry level.
Right.
No,
Entry
but
level,
that's good. Like I say, you see, like I said, Costin came through Castle. Yeah,
Right.
A lot of dudes. And look at him
Sheckler,
now.
everybody.
Yeah. So it's good to see that, hey, stay with Castle. Go do some local stuff.
Yeah,
Especially
just go
your
have
parents
fun.
can't be flying you around. She can drive you to the local contest, which is
Right.
what Castle's
Yes.
about. If you got to drive an hour or two, do it. We did it back in the day.
Yeah, and not
You
only
gotta
that, but
do what
then
you got to do.
you're gonna meet kids outside of your little neighborhood or park,
Oh, yeah,
right?
become friends
you're gonna,
for life.
You're gonna get
You make
friends
friends for
that are
life.
serious about skateboarding, that love skateboarding, and that's gonna parlay into, hanging out. You're gonna make all kinds of new friends, like, because you'll probably only have a few of you at your school that skateboard, right? Like, especially if you're in elementary
that level,
school.
yeah.
If you're in elementary school or maybe going into middle school, there's probably a handful of you at that school, maybe more depending on what city you're sitting in. But like you go to Castle and now you're meeting, another 15 kids your age
What's
from
cool
like
is
this
you
area.
meet them and get their Instagram too. So now you
Yep.
follow them and you see what tricks they're doing and you try those tricks and you learn.
Yeah.
It's so easy to
and
progress.
everybody's
see now with the
progressing
video.
together.
Yeah, seeing stuff that's going on.
That's why skating is crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And what's crazy now with the COVID thing? I've been getting a lot of calls to build backyard ramps. I've been building ramps my whole life.
Right.
And I've been building a lot of backyard ramps the last few months, which is
Dude.
cool job for me because, just without being able to do events right now, I'm supposed to be in Prague next week. I've been to Prague
right.
every year
Yep.
for 25 years. We've done this event.
The Mystic
we
Cup.
You had street and bowl and vert and all this stuff.
awesome.
And it's a blessing, and unfortunately, all that's kind of on hold right now. Can't do
Right.
big events right
yeah,
now.
you would be in Europe right now.
We do Spain in the summer, and we do Montreal, Canada, and we used to do Brazil a ton. China, oh man, it was crazy. I've been to the
Yeah.
Great Wall of China. I went to the Great Wall of China where Danny Wade jumped the Great Wall of China. Me and Bob were like, we're getting a
that's
car.
tight.
Let's go find the spot. And there's a plaque on the wall. It's all in Chinese. I say, hey, what does it say? And it says, we have the Great Wall of China, but U.S. has Danny Wade, which is pretty
awesome.
rad to
That
see.
is really cool.
He's a national treasure.
So just
Yeah.
to see things like that, be able to travel the world, go to Paris, go up with the Eiffel Tower,
Yep.
go see the world on
And
skateboarding.
then MC a
as well.
skate
Yeah,
contest.
Yeah.
I went to
Amazing.
that.
Amazing
I
life.
went to Mystic Cup in.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, in 2000 or 2001.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Europe to visit.
Nice.
Just with some buddies, road tripping around. But we knew
Killer.
of Mystic.
How was
we,
the killer
we knew
vibe
we
back
were
then,
going to
huh?
go
How
to
rad was
Mystic
that
Cup.
thing?
Yo,
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
it was
one
an
of my
amazing
favorites.
contest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's
Yeah,
so
it was
free.
awesome.
Yeah, it's like a music festival too.
Yeah.
Lots of fans just packing to go crazy, and then at night you're just partying all night, whatever. It's
Yeah,
pretty-
and if
pretty
you
loose.
don't know about Prague, that
Yeah.
city is amazing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
beautiful.
It's an international city.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They
yeah.
never got bombed, is why in World War II, Germany all
Yeah.
got rebuilt.
Right.
Prague, I think, they came in and just took it over because they had a lot of technology, a lot of smart people and smart businesses, and they said, okay, we're not going to bomb this. Since all the churches are old, all the and they kept it. So that's
and it was
cool
like Czech Republic. So it was part of I think it was part of the USSR back in after World War II.
Yeah.
So you have
even before World War II.
So you have the whole Eastern European old school vibe. Like you go in the subway tunnels and stuff. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
it's pretty rad.
Sounds like a
my
terrible
buddies
time.
take me these
Great times.
basement things, kind of like this place, where you're just this place is like 300 years old or something. Like whoa, it's pretty crazy to see.
And then in the middle of all that is where they hold that Mystic Cup, like right by the bridge.
Yeah,
it was really cool. Yeah. So you must have been announcing it at the time.
Yeah, building the ramps there too, man.
Yeah.
Those guys didn't know how to build ramps. I built a killer bowl over there. We still holding tight. Did a lot of stuff. Got to go to Rome a bunch. We brought the Tony Hawk tour to Rome. The guy's like, this Bing World Cup, and then every year, I want Tony Hawk. I'm like, dude, you're never gonna get Tony Hawk. And then one year, Tony Hawk's there. The Tony Hawk show. I got to announce some stuff. For Tony. Cool. One of my events, it's on my Instagram. We had Barcelona, 30,000 people on the beach with Tony Hawk to do the 900, and all the guys do the vert show. And what a crazy thing! But here, going to Rome, man, seeing the Colosseum, things are like 2,000 years old. I saw these mummified people, wherever that big volcano thing it just buried.
Mount
people.
Vesuvius,
Not Pamplona, Pompeii.
Pompeii, yeah.
Yeah, dude, see these skeletons that were 2,000 years old. Their toes are sticking out the bone. I've never seen a human remains, but it got mummified or whatever.
Crazy.
Yeah.
On skateboarding.
All because of skateboarding. So of all the stuff you've announced, is there one thing that sticks out, or is there one contest series that was always your favorite to announce?
I just recently saw Sandro post. The first time did a 900 was at Latin XGames, I think, which is down in Brazil. I went to Brazil the first time in '85 with Tony Alva. I heard he was going for 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, you're going to Brazil? And I'd met dudes from Brazil that came to Del Mar, come to there's pools and whatever. I'm like, I want to go. He goes, yeah, I'm going for a contest. You could ride the AM event and I'll go. I'm like, all right, killer. And I stayed. I was supposed to go for 2 weeks to Brazil. We're going to surf and hang out. We had hotels all figured out with the distributor there. I stayed 2 months in Brazil.
Wow.
I'm like, it was Thanksgiving and we went, and Christmas comes. I'm like, are you coming home? My girlfriend, nope, sorry, I'm down here. Hanging out with chicks, doing fun stuff, hanging out all the local skaters. Stay at my house. We'll drive you to the beach. We'll go surf, skate.
Right.
So that was a dream of being like a sponsored ad, but I was living like a semi-pro, 85 in Brazil, just skating every day, living the dream because it was so cheap. You go for all you can eat churrasco for $5.
Yeah.
I did a ad for this company, London Fog. They gave me $200 for this little ad.
The raincoats.
Yeah, it's whatever
like
it is. They had shoes,
London
they
Fog.
had shoes back then.
Oh,
but
really?
It's still around. Yeah,
skate shoes.
Well, Brazilian. The Brazil.
In Brazil.
Kind of they take the name of somebody famous and make it whatever.
Oh, okay.
But whatever, they gave me a couple $100, so that was allowed me to stay another month. I lived for $200. I lived for a month down there because I didn't have to pay for room and board.
That's awesome.
For a London Fog skate shoe
ad.
ad.
Doing a London Fog ad real quick.
I got that. It actually says CASL in my. I'll send you the photo. It says CASL series winner one of these
in
things.
the ad.
In the ad.
Oh, we got to see this ad.
Yeah.
I have to
because
see
that was
this ad.
I wasn't pro yet, so who is this? Dave Duncan from? We don't know. Oh, CASL, series winner, whatever. Yeah.
And then there's a couple $100 to hang out in Brazil for the next couple months.
My point was seeing Sandro do the 900 because Tony Hawk did it in the best trick, and it took him whatever it was, 17 tries, whatever it took to then. But there again, to do in a contest, whatever, and Sandro was the first one to make it during a contest. He did over 50 900s, which nobody's ever going to do anymore, I don't think. I really don't see that.
He didn't get dizzy?
So I'm sure he did. But you're asking me about favorite moments. That's one of them. All the best trick stuff, seeing Tony Hawk do 900 XGames, that was huge. I remember Bob did one fakie ollie up to a bar, fakie 5-0, frontside fakie 5, and then kick flipped out off of a bar 3 feet higher than a vert ramp. How do you do? And they had 30 minutes to pull this trick off. It's like a best trick that maybe takes someone a month in a video part. So, I mean, this is just a lot of progression.
Bob Burnquist.
Yeah. Go check his parts. Go check out Dreamland if you haven't seen it yet, man. Guys are amazing. And we do a Bob Burnquist event every year on the Mega where those guys are doing stuff off the rail and off the step up and over this hip. It's not, doesn't
the
air.
Step up. It's like the wall up. That thing is 5 feet.
It doesn't air in America because it's just for Globo TV in Brazil.
Right.
World Cup comes down and runs the whole event, but we get to see modern day progression on Mega Ramp.
That Mega Ramp is
nuts.
nuts.
30-minute session at each zone, and they just go nuts. Jake Brown, Elliott Sloan. Elliott Sloan's getting ready to have an event. He does a lot of backyard stuff now. He's got a killer mini Mega and a vert ramp thanks to Rockstar for keeping him going.
Craziness.
X Games gold medalist, tail grab 900. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that stuff, and then what's that? Then you got Tom Shard doing the 1080. They called him Tom 80 for a while.
Yeah.
And then
Tom's a
that
CASL
kid from
Yep.
Seattle that did the 1260, Mitchie Brusco.
Mitchie.
Who would have thought? Who would have
I
thought?
know, right?
And I was calling it for snowboarding, 1260, 1440. Like, what the hell? We're never seeing this in skateboarding.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
And
crazy.
now-
You need
And
a
now there it
calculator.
is.
Yeah, so I mean, we're just talking
You need your
progression here.
protractor.
For
Things.
real.
And I remember Mitchie they called him Little Tricky because he was a little kid. Like, who
Right.
would have thought that he would become? Even Tom Shard. I remember Tom Shard, 10 years old, ripping around, and
Yep.
I'd see him at Buc-ee's. I'm like telling DC, dude, you guys should sponsor this guy. Ah, he's 10, yeah, whatever. And then now look at him, you know,
Yeah.
Tom Shard. He's won the combi pool like 3 times in a row,
Yep.
or whatnot, whatever. You know, Bucky. Big shout to Bucky too. It's another kid, Bucky Lassick too.
Yeah,
But,
Bucky's
dude,
he's awesome.
still going strong.
Yep.
Anyways,
Still not entering like the legends or like
Yeah,
the
still the
masters.
real-
still,
yeah,
he's still
competing with the
entering,
kids, yeah.
competing with like against
Yeah.
21-year-olds
and progressing, dude. His
Yeah,
tricks are
and
gnarly, yeah.
and throwing down runs that
Yeah.
that are in contention every
Yeah.
single time.
Anyways, I could talk skateboarding all day with you guys. I don't know, but big
yeah.
shout out,
For
big
sure.
shout out to all the amazing skateboarders across the world. You know,
Yeah.
Yep. So what do you have going on these days? So you've been doing some backyard
we're
ramps.
doing a lot of backyard ramps lately, just because the thing there's no parks open right now. And
Right.
I got some friends at backyards pools near my house, and we go
if you
skate.
need help
some backyard
building
pools.
ramps, I'm nice with a jigsaw.
Okay, I don't
I'm
use a
nice with
jigsaw. I
circular
do everything with my
saw,
skill saw. Yeah.
Skill saw. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. skill
Okay.
saw.
The latest one this guy had me build, I couldn't use a nail gun because he's afraid that the landlord is going to make him take it apart. He's
Oh,
like, we
so you
have
had
to
to do
screw
screws?
every single 2x4, every single ply, everything, all screwed.
Is that
But
the one that you had to cut the roof?
Yeah,
the
that's
eaves.
that guy with it. The
I
guy,
saw that
he's
on
like, the owner
Instagram.
doesn't know, but it's hitting me whenever I hit it. We got to
Did you
cut the
see
roof.
that?
Cut the
Yeah.
roof.
Yeah,
So
we
the
cut
the
roof,
roof
the
like
eaves
hang the
hanging
eaves
over,
hang
yeah.
off the garage, so he just sliced it at the
Yeah,
wall.
yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, check out Dave's Instagram if you want to see what we're talking about. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. Check it out.
It's just a little ramp because it's behind his garage. He had nothing going, and he's got little kids, and they're stuck at home all day, and they want to learn to fakie on a little mini and do
Yep.
their thing. So he's a
Looks
cool
like a
guy.
fun little
yeah,
ramp.
yeah. He paid me like $1,000 or whatever to go up there for a few days and throw this thing together, and then he paid me a couple $100 to come back and do the roof too. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was good. Yeah, whatever. It was fun. I never had to cut a roof back for a skate ramp before.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah, but I also do construction on regular homes, but I mean, I was a union carpenter when I was a kid, so I knew
Okay.
how to do everything. But I built homes bottom to top, all the concrete work, the windows, doors,
Everything,
siding,
huh?
roof, whatever. Yeah, so I do a lot of remodels. Just in between when I'm not traveling, keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
keeps the bills paid. I got 2 daughters and a grandson, so
Wow.
they're both pretty good.
Congrats.
They're both pretty good. They're all kind of taking care of themselves. But for a few years, most of their lives, I had to keep them going. But
Sure.
it's all good. Part of being a dad. I love it. My
Awesome.
daughter, they're both
Yes.
awesome. So but yeah, it's good. It's life here again. I love what I do. I'm kind of do my own thing. I work for myself, so I kind of
Right.
picking my phone ring.
As
I'm
you
always busy.
should.
I don't know what's going on 2 months for me from now. I mean, usually with World Cup, I would know, but right now, somehow it's all,
Everything's kind of in the air right
2
now.
months ago, I'm like, oh, everything's done, and I've been busy, more busy now than ever. Like, just my phone's ringing, go here, go there, do this, do that. Like, okay.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, because everybody's at home now, they want to do little home projects. Oh, let's fix this
Yeah.
up while we're at home.
There you go.
Right,
And they know I'm not traveling. Oh, Dave's around. Let's do this. Seriously, the ramps. Hey, you can come do me a
Yeah.
ramp, and they see it, and then more ramps. So
Cool.
yeah, I'm very stoked. So, the kids out there, find a trade like that, like electrician, plumber. My buddy's a plumber, whatever. Find your own thing. You can make some good money, and then you have
Yep.
freedom
Yeah.
to do what you want. My dad always used to tell me, go to college and be a doctor or lawyer, and I never really was that suit and tie kind of guy. And I go, why would I? He goes, you can go golfing on Tuesdays. and that was really his thing, was just the freedom of running
Yeah.
your own thing and having money to do what you want.
Yep.
So it's interesting enough, because whenever I do an event, I get on the plane Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday event. I fly home Monday, so my weekends are like Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
So every
Yeah.
Tuesday I'm surfing, I'm skating.
Actually,
I'm
that's
chilling.
a very similar schedule
I
to a
know, right?
professional golfer
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they go like Thursday through Sunday.
So that was my dad loved golfing. So, basically,
He kind of worked it out for
I've
him.
lived the dream of being a millionaire or whatever successful career
Yeah.
by being able to do whatever the hell I want on a Tuesday.
Nice. I love it. So
It's
do you?
funny.
3 days.
So tell us about Embassy. You have a board?
Yeah. Where are we at here? This is my latest model here.
Yeah.
A big shout out to my buddy from Argentina. Check my Instagram, you'll see he did. It's like the yin and yang from Town and Country.
Yeah.
Where you got the daytime, and that's where the sun is all going on in the daytime, and then the nighttime down here.
Okay.
So daytime, I'm skating a pool. I'm at the beach, hanging out. And then the nighttime, I'm just out with the boys raging around.
Those poker chips or something.
Little Cupid's trying to find me some love in the nighttime over here.
Nice.
But I want a big shout out to Lee and the Embassy crew because we want to give you guys some boards and shirt stuff for the kids this year.
It's got a tri-tail on it.
So actually, I want to give you guys this. I don't know where the cameras are at.
Right on.
Right there. Take that one.
Sick.
And that's
Grab
for
that,
you
Daryl.
guys for the prizes. It's big. As I was announcing the exposure contest with the girls every year, and Andrew Reynolds was there with Stella.
Yep.
And he had boards.
Nice.
He had a big board like this with 215s, and I'm like, I gotta go here. Let me borrow your board real quick to go around and do something. And I'm like, wow, I haven't ridden 215s in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm getting older, and my trucks are getting wider because I used to ride 169s back in the 80s, and then it timed at 159s, 49s, or whatever. His boards got smaller. Now I'm back to 169s, and then with this, I'm going to try and get some 215s. I just got to set up, but I still ride this like in the combi pool or big stuff, so I call it the pool cruiser.
Okay.
Because it's a big, wide board. It's just for when you're older, and there's a lot of dudes out there my age that ride with their kids, and they're just cruising. They're not doing flip tricks or whatever, but you want all these parks. Man, there's thousands of parks here, which is a dream. We never in my lifetime thought we'd see an amazing good parks. They're building killer pools and flow zones and stuff.
And
now.
they're city parks, so they're not
they're
going to
free
close
and
down
whatever.
from being like running out of money. They're all free skate plazas or whatever. Yeah.
Well, and let me tell you something about that real quick. So how it all happened in the 80s, all the parks closed down because you could sue. Oh, I broke my arm. I want $100,000 from the park owner. Oh, and everyone, the whole insurance closed them all down, basically. Everyone's scared because of liability. So Jim Fitzpatrick, congratulations to him, went to the state of California and said, let's make this a hazardous activity. So if you step on a skateboard or bicycle,
assumed risk.
And so that changed it to where now cities and people can build parks and not have that liability.
Right.
So that once we changed that was, I don't know, 20 years ago, whatever it was. So
Yeah.
I remember that.
anyways, it's really, you kids are very blessed because we as passionate skateboarders have worked hard to what our dream would have been, like, to every city have a park.
Right,
Everyone's got a tennis court. Everyone's got a basketball court. We need kids nowadays are skateboarding. I always remember seeing Bart Simpson's on TV. I love The Simpsons. I love Family Guy. All the animation. Just you can go bizarre with it. But every episode, he starts skateboarding. And imagine being a 3, 4, 5-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid every day seeing Simpsons, seeing Bart Simpson. And he's the cool kid, the little troublemaker. The
gap from the driveway gap on top of the car.
So it's got to be subliminal, these kids, of like, oh, skateboarding's cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a different generation now. So thanks to all the city council people out there and whatever, all the skateboard people that went to the meetings that deal with the city council to get the parks going.
Where we are.
And they're still going. So, and all the skate park builders, all the DIY dudes, big shout out to anybody that puts love into skateboarding. There's so many DIY spots. Guys don't get paid. They just get bags of concrete and do what they do. And
just to have a cool place to skate.
It's great to see the progression of terrain, because people always ask me how many tricks. You've seen all the tricks. It's about the terrain, like the mega ramp or the pools or the flow zones they have now with all the offsets and extensions and pool coping. There's so many things now.
Right.
That's what makes skateboarding interesting to me. Like I just went and rode that Harbor City Park the first time by Pedro.
Oh yeah.
And
that park is fun.
No, and I've never been there. I got a job next week over there doing some siding on a house. My buddy, he owns a place, and he's like, yeah, let's meet at Harbor City. I'm like, yeah, let's do it right by Peck Park. So anyway, just to roll up to Park Town 58, going to a brand new park, I got excited just like I was a teenager. And then I saw some dudes I knew there. Hey, what's up, homies? Yeah, it felt killer. I got to roll around, and it was a good time. So
and every park's different.
Yeah.
They're all different. They all have their own little things and different ways to flow around. So
I saw that new one in Elsinore. I got to get out there. It's hot right now out there, but I know you guys are talking about maybe doing an event out there.
Yeah, we've talked about doing an event out there.
That's the one we went to the grand opening, right?
Yeah, you went to the grand opening and passed out some information.
Fun. Cool. That quarter pipe at the end of the street, that thing
looks
is
fun.
Steep.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just good to see new terrain coming out, So
it is.
We'll see what happens.
Super fun.
I mean, we didn't have parks.
Did you guys ever do CASL stuff in the combi pool, right? Done some
We do, regularly.
Because I designed and built that for Vans 20 years ago.
Wow.
Vans came to I was doing Vans Triple Crown contest, vert and street stuff.
Yep.
And they go, Dave, we want to build a skate park. And it was the mall. Nothing was open in the mall. It was like everything was getting built. So we're in there for 2 months. It took me a month to build the combi. And I did it because the original Upland was the best pool I ever rode. And so we fit it in. And Steve was like, do whatever you want. Like, we need pools.
Yeah.
There was no pools. This is before parks. There was no parks at that time.
Right.
So we had to have a vert ramp, and originally it's now the mini, and then street course and all whatever else. But big shout out to Steve Andover, let me do the combi. And that thing's been there more than 20 years now, which the original Upland combi was only from like 80 to 87, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 6-7
wow.
years. And the only heyday of contests for 4 or 5 years. So that to me was legendary. And now the combi's been there 20. We've been doing events, I think, for 15 years now.
Yeah.
The first 5 years, they didn't do events there. The combi just sat there. So
Yeah, big shout out to Vans. They take care
Yeah.
of us in a major way.
Yes.
Steve takes care of us. You know,
Yeah.
Steve.
I love
is
Steve. It's like a
always
family over there, yeah.
He's always taking care of CASL. And we'll do at least a couple events at Vans in Orange, and then we'll do a couple of events in Huntington Beach.
Oh, that's another one. That's
So,
right down the
every
street from my
year.
house, man.
Yeah,
I love
that
Huntington
park.
Vans.
That's a great
And that's
park.
because that's one of the recent ones.
Yeah.
You know, that street course is there's so much, such a flow. I love rolling around over there. And then they just redid the combi there, which
Yep.
I heard they reversed it.
Yeah.
Because they changed it a little, and they're like, we don't know if people are going to like these changes or not. But in case they didn't, if they tried to do it exactly like the indoor, because the indoor may close because they're saying with the mall, they kind of fight with them over lease every year.
Every year,
But
yeah.
they said if they have to close it, they love the combi idea. So let's do the outdoor one. But if they try to make it the same and it was not as good, then people would complain.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right,
they go,
right.
let's flip it. And that way no one can complain because it's
Right.
different. So
Right.
it's kind of smart in a way. The
I think it's good. I
regular
like it.
footers, now do goofy
And then,
and the
yeah.
front side, back side is different. So
And then the flow bowl is much larger
Yeah.
since they made that. So now they
That-
have like the actual park setup
Right,
for like,
yeah, like a Vans Park
yeah,
series. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
That one's fun to announce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff goes on
Exactly.
down there.
Super
Yeah.
fun.
And now with the Grosso vert ramp there, they got that
Yep.
too, which I love those old school vert ramps. Like when they started getting big, like it's like, wow, 11-foot train, 11 and a half, 2 foot. It's like you got to really fly high and go fast to make those ramps work.
Right.
But the Grosso vert ramps, we used to make them like 9.5 trannies, foot and a half a vert, back in the day. And that's kind of like what that is. It's like,
Yeah.
that's fun, man. A little tighter, and it's easier to learn tricks. And I don't know, for me, I like the smaller stuff,
Hopefully we'll get to
Yes.
do Vans Huntington. I think that's September on our calendar right now. But we'll see.
Okay.
We'll just
Yeah.
have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yes.
it. Who do you want to? Any shout outs you want to give, or anything
That's
else
it,
you want to
that's it.
throw out there?
I mean, I've been a team manager for Black Flies for a lot of years, just Orange County thing. So shout out to Flies for keeping me flowing all the time. I'll get you guys some flies to give the kids.
Hell yeah. And
For-
I got to
for
say,
that.
mid-'80s, Alva was my shit.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Loved
Thank you.
Alva. The Tri-Tails, I rode all the Alva boards.
Yeah,
all the
that's a
York
launch
board.
ramp era,
Dude,
too.
yes,
Everyone's
yes.
doing a lot of launch
I'm
ramp and
sure
street
the
stuff.
driveway
like-
launch
Dude,
ramps.
I'm
Yeah.
sure I learned judo airs on a mini build down.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
For sure.
Well, you know what's crazy about the Alva stuff was we had our own factory, and when Soy did that fish, we're like, wow, you can do that? Because if you look at Skateboarder Magazine, early 80s, everything was what they call 10 by 30. Looked very similar
Yeah,
to this
yeah,
board.
yeah,
A
yep.
little
Right.
around in the nose.
Standard.
Everything looked the same. And then Soy did the fish, like, whoa, it's unique and it's different. Then he did the hammer X, he left Alva. And then everyone started doing these weird,
All the weird shapes.
Gibson they always
Yep.
had the Castor, had the little cutaway stinger thing.
Yeah.
And people started doing weird tails. And he
Yep.
had the dolphin tail and then, whatever. And so
I
that's what
remember,
made Alva boards unique was that
Yes.
everyone kind of had their own shape, some
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mark Lake had that nightmare board.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I think Grimple Sticks just redid that one for Peter Hewitt and those
Oh,
guys. That
hell
was pretty
yeah.
cool.
Hell yeah.
It's cool to see that stuff come back around, like the
Yeah.
funny, fun shapes.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
Street Fire. The Alva Street
Yeah,
Fire
yeah.
was the first
You know what?
one
That
I
was
seen.
Chris Cook and Jeff Hartzell weren't pro yet, but they worked it out every day. Like, how do we
Yeah.
hook these guys up? So they got 50 cents a board if you're amateur,
Uh-huh.
and they designed it together so they each got a quarter board.
Yeah.
Now, they designed the graphics and the shape of the Street Fire, and a
That's
lot of
awesome.
kids rode the
Yes.
Street Fire because
Hell yeah.
we all rode vert and pool, so it's good the beginning of the street thing. We had
Yep.
minis. I had a mini which was more for the street for
Yep.
the kids.
Yep, I had minis.
I'm a big guy that rode a big board, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was when Thrasher had the black and white pages. You
Yeah.
Yep.
made your fingers black.
Yep, exactly.
Newspaper
You remember?
print.
You
Yep.
remember?
Yeah, and when you had to call like
was,
California Cheapskates and place your order, mail
Yeah.
order style, or you could fill out the little form and mail
Yeah.
it in with a check and wait 6 to 8
Yeah, yeah,
weeks
yeah.
or whatever it was to
man.
get your package. That was it was
Speaking of
all
6
mail
to 8
order.
weeks, I used to have to wait for Skateboarder Magazine in the 70s. It was every 2 months.
Yeah.
So you'd read a magazine. 2 months is forever when you're a kid. And then and those new parks, new tricks. Eventually it came monthly.
Yeah.
But for the first couple years, it was bi-monthly. And God, it's just crazy how it all changed, man.
I know now it's every single day, every hour.
Yeah.
You can check your Instagram every 5 minutes and learn something new.
Refresh.
Yeah.
On that note, big thanks to Thrasher for keeping it going. Rest in peace, Jake Phelps and Fausto.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I remember loving Thrasher because when it was dead, Thrasher kind of helped rebuild it. You know, they were the Thrasher, the Indie, and then Tracker was Transworld, and they both kind of kept it going for a while. But now they're the only ones left. No more Skateboarder Magazine, no more Transworld. It's all Thrasher. So good for them. And it's pretty thick still. They're still doing pretty good.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
You know, back then it was like, oh, it's too gnarly for kids. They got beer in there or whatever. But it's the real deal.
Then Big Brother showed up.
Yeah.
And then
I used to love Big Brother.
I did too.
That was Steve Rocco. Go see his movie. Was that The Man Who Sold the World?
Yes,
that's a great
Yeah,
movie.
that's an amazing movie.
Because skateboard teenagers are, you know, whatever.
That was a different time in skateboarding too, I think.
That was fun.
I mean, we were getting arrested for skateboarding, so it was a lot of.
It was kind of big.
It was a
big
lot
F you
different.
to the corporate
yeah,
world.
I mean, we didn't, you know.
That eventually became Jackass because back in those videos, the CKY video and stuff, they would always have crazy stuff.
And the Big Brother videos.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You watch skate before Big Brother. I'm saying they watch skate videos had to be entertaining.
Right.
You just want to see tricks. You want to see fun stuff.
There was always an interview with a homeless guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Always.
Go through the drive-through and pie the girl that's getting your shakes or whatever. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Big Brother kind of made it more fun. Which became, look at all those guys, how much money they made Jackass. It's a worldwide phenomenon. You know, people just doing stupid stuff.
Another crazy career path.
Yeah, right.
Started by skateboarding.
Get kicked in the balls for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it. You got any good Sonia stories?
Oh, hey, big shout out to Sonia. You know, I traveled the world with her, doing a lot of stuff. It's funny because she was always like, clear the course with her little thing. It's funny because in the NSA, I mean, actually World Cup days now, when the guys are out there and they won't, I was like, guys, please stop falling.
Yeah.
Because they fall so much, they're trying tricks. And when I'm trying to start, instead of stop skating, they're not skating, they're falling.
Right.
So as a joke, I just say, hey, guys, stop falling. Let's go. Let's get this going. Anyways, on that note, you know, clear the course. Big thanks for having you guys here.
Thank you, Dave. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Love
good times. Good times.
And I think that'll do it. Clear the course, kids. Get out and
Hey,
skate.
big shout out to Super Audio Network. Thanks, Dre, for making it happen here. Lovely little spot.
Thanks for your hospitality,
here in
Dre.
Southern California. And everybody be safe out there.